What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I was out here late last night working on the trailer and everything, and it's just too hot to work on this thing during the daytime in the broad open sun out here. There's a little bit of shade in the morning and then late in the afternoon like this here. So I was out here late last night, couldn't really do any filming. It was dark, you wouldn't have been able to see anything anyways. So I'm going to take you out here and we'll go over kind of what my plan is now, what I got done on the project and everything, and tell you what I got ordered and all that good stuff. Alright guys, so the first thing is I've got all this after several hours of cutting with a Metabo wheel and a grinding disc. I've got all this cut off here and ground down where I can lay. I'm going to just get a piece and lay over all this all the way. I'm going to come all the way back to the back. I got the boards tore out of here. I still got to pick those up, but I'm going to lay over the top all the way, and it should be flush with this, and I'll just weld it in there, and that's going to come all the way up to here. And that's the way a lot of the newer trailers are done, where this is recessed in the way they did it. Most all the newer ones that I've seen is laid over the top and welded. That gives a little more clearance there, which brings me to my next thing that I'm going to do here. We're going to cut the spring hangers off. I've got a new set coming, a whole hanger kit. I'm going back with the same height hangers and everything, so I'm going to be spacing those down to make sure that there's not any rubbing issues, because I don't want to get this thing all back together and it rub going across uneven ground whenever your equalizers pivot this way or this way. You know, that tire's going to want to rub. If you go across any kind of uneven terrain, or if you got a heavy load, you go across a bridge or something and it starts bouncing, that can make it rub as low as this thing sits. So I'm going to space those down to eliminate that possibility while I'm doing this. The newer trailers have longer spring hangers on them, like Big Tex is using now, so they're still using a 12-inch frame I-beam spaced down like this for the low pro deck height, but they are using a longer spring hanger on that adjustable suspension that probably gives them a little bit more. I haven't measured one, but I know the 12,000 pound spring hangers are longer. So I talked to a guy that does some hot shot, and he said he used to run the 10,000 pound trailers, Big Tex trailers, and he was having issues with them rubbing like this trailer was, and he swapped out to the 12,000 pound trailers, didn't have any trouble anymore. So I was going to buy the hanger kit and the springs and everything for the 12,000 pound stuff, but they're double the price of the 10K springs, which makes absolutely no sense to me. I think I bought the hanger kit and the springs and a whole new set of springs for like 500 bucks, and to do that with a 12K setup would have been over $1,000. You have to buy the U-bolts and stuff for that. The thick springs are 1 leaf thicker, and the U-bolt tie plate is also wider because it's a 3-inch wide spring instead of a 2.5. So decided to go with the same thing that's on here, which should be fine for what I'm going to do with it and all. So I'm going to space this down, and I'll show that when we get it done in another video. The other thing is these ramps here. I have to make these ramps so they will stand up. The way it is, they don't have anything to hold them up. They just lay flat like that, and if I haul something long, obviously that's going to be a problem, because you can't pull your tractor or something up far enough to get the ramps to lay back down. So that's going to be an issue. So I'm going to make some kind of bar here to figure out. I got to figure out the angle on that to get it to do what I want it to do. So I got to fab that up. They had a stake pocket welded right here, because the guy had a ratchet on the front. He would throw a strap over. He must have had a really long strap, because this is a 29-foot trailer, and if you count the bells that he would have had to go over the top of, I don't see how he had a strap long enough to reach. But anyway, I cut that off, ground it off, and as well as the one on the front up here, the ratchets. Here's the ratchet right here off of the chain rack. I cut it off. The head welded on here. They had it welded all crooked anyway. But this chain rack here opens up like that. You can see the chain in there. You close that down and you can put a lock on it here on each side, and so your chains will hang down. They had this here. I like this wire mesh that they added here to give you some place to store something, because it didn't have anything up here evidently, according to the previous owner. I don't know why that they did not build a toolbox up here. I guess that's something I could do. I'm not really sure that I'm going to, though. I may just cut this off here, because he had it. It was a lot taller. It was about that tall. You can see right there where it was welded, and that made it difficult to put anything in there because it's so tall. You have no clearance between your pipe here and there to put anything down in there. So I cut this off, and he had rebar up here, which the rebar is not really built for, you know, I guess you could use it, but just don't look too good on a trailer, in my opinion. So I could put a piece of flat bar or angle or something here and cap this off so that you don't cut your arm when you stick it in there, and that would allow me to store some straps or binders in here, and then I could just hang my chains here. I'm going to get probably have some shorter chains made, and for tying stuff down, and I'll just stick them in here and let them hang. So that may be what I do with that. Oh yeah, the side rub rail here, I tried to straighten these the best I can. Yeah, they still need some work. I don't know how they bent them to the point that they bent them to. I've got some of them straightened out. That's where they're not that bad. But like this one here, they had it bent so far in, it was touching the frame, and they actually stretched this bar. And so when I bent it out, now it's got a big hump in it. And there's just not a lot I can do with that aside from cutting it off and welding a new one on, which is probably what I'm going to do, because that looks bad. And the other side is the same way. Over here, see, I got most of it halfway straight except for one there in the middle. It was the same way, where it was really bad pushed in all the way. So I'm gonna, I guess, cut this out. I don't know if I just cut this one section out here and weld a new section in there, or exactly what I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna do something with it because it looks bad the way it is. Most of the newer trailers now have what they call chain spools, which is nothing but a piece of pipe in here in the middle, in between the two stakes pockets, to keep this from getting pushed in as bad. So they kind of cheaped out on this trailer when they didn't do that, but that wasn't real common on the trailers, I guess the year model that this one was built back in 07. But it is more common now, and for those of you who don't know what that is, what I'm talking about, can't envision, I'll take you over here to my flatbed and show you how it's done, and give you a better idea there. It looks like it's time consuming to do. This flatbed here, it's actually got two in here in between the stake pockets. So your stake pockets are on 2-foot centers, and then most trailers only has one chain spool in there, but they've got two here on this. So I mean, I may do that too. I've got some pipe over there, I believe, about this size. Just a little bit time consuming to cut this off and weld that in there, but it keeps your rail from getting nearly as bent up. They still bend this up, the forklifts and stuff. They'll still put their mast up against it and bend it, but it definitely helps a whole lot by that being like that. Makes it a whole lot stronger. So I guess that's going to be what I'll be working on next, and I don't know, I may get aggravated and just cut this whole rail off and replace the whole thing, just to make it look a little better. I don't know, that irritates me, having a trailer that's all bent up, and it's going to make it look worse whenever I paint it. It's going to be glossy and bent up, so I don't know. Anyway, another thing is I would like to have some wider ramps, but I'm probably just going to use these like they are, because I've heard different things on the mega ramps, which are like, you know, the real wide That's what Big Tech calls them anyway. I think PJ calls them monster ramps. Everybody's got their own name for them, but they're basically the ramps that come out like they're twice as wide as these, and they have the diamond plate on the bottom of them in order to set stuff on. Some people say they twist, like if you're on uneven ground and one of the ramps off the ground, you drop something heavy, that it'll tweak the ramp and bend them. So some people do not like them. I've never used any, so I don't know, but it would be nice to have at least a little wider ramp. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with that or not. This project is getting pretty expensive already, so that may be something that just has to wait. Maybe something in the future or something. I'll probably just use them like this and see how they turn out. And if I feel I need a wider ramp, then I'll look into doing something with that maybe. Another thing I wanted to point out is this side step right here. I don't know if this will pick up in the video. I'm going to try to hold the camera level. That's, if you look at the camera and the trailer and the bottom of that step, it looks like whenever that step was welded on there, that I don't know if there was some drinking involved or what happened there, but it does not look like that the step is bent. I mean, it could be, but it really doesn't look like anything's hit it and bent it any kind of way. I mean, it looks pretty straight there. So I don't know if they hit it and bent it. I would think there would be, it just looks like it was bent wrong from the factory when they welded it on there. It's this leg here is longer than this leg here, and so the step is kicked like this. That bothers me, so I'm probably going to cut this off and do something different here. I'm not sure exactly what, but I don't like that. Probably being a little bit picky there, but I don't know, it's just something I can see from like right here. You know, you can just pick up on it when you walk up to the trailer, and I don't like that at all. All right, on our coupler up here, somebody did not correctly tighten this down, and we have some wear here. I've got a bigger pin that I'm going to repair this hole a little bit and put a slightly bigger pin in here. But anyway, that should not happen if you tighten this down. So obviously somebody didn't tighten it down, and over time it beat that hole out. So not that big a deal, just a little bit of time to fix. The other thing is, look it up in here, the inside of here has got some rusting going on because they have this boxed in right here, and there's not a hole here or anything for the water to drain out. So this thing has been sitting in this guy's yard for years, up under trees and stuff, and just water sitting in there. So you can see it's rusted out some right there. It's not that bad yet, but it's getting there, and we're gonna have to clean the rust and stuff out of there and do something with that, and create a slot or a drain here so that water can get out of there, so that it won't continue to be an issue. I've got to see if I can bend this bar back here, this piece of channel iron. I mean, I can cut it off and put a new one on there, but I'm going to put a come along on it and see if I can straighten it. If not, I'll cut it off and we'll put a new one on there, make it look a little better. The newer trailers have the have an angle right here coming up right in here to brace this. I guess this one hasn't needed it, and it wasn't that common back when this trailer was built like it is now, but it makes it look a little better. Probably not going to worry with doing that. I don't want this all bent up like this and everything, so I'm going to like I say, try to straighten that up and whatnot. As far as the DOT tape, I'm not sure the best way to go about removing that yet. I have a paint stripping wheel and I have a heat gun. I don't know which will be more effective at removing this, but I want to go ahead and get that removed and get it kind of prepped for paint, and do all my welding repairs. If I'm going to repair this rub rail, the step, all that stuff, get it all done all at the same time so that I don't have to go back and grind off new paint that I just applied to fix something. So I'm going to take my time and go over everything and get it all fixed up, just like if this was a you know, if it's never been painted before, like it was a fresh trailer build. Get everything all fixed up and welded on there, and then when you paint it, you're done with it. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's going to take a little bit of time to go over everything. I know I'm going to think of several different things as I go along that I forgot about and whatnot, and I've left out. So I just want to take my time and go along and add everything that I want to add all at one time and be done with it. So I don't know how long this process is going to take. Maybe a few months or something to get all this done. So it may be a few weeks in between videos and stuff on this project and all that good stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to take a moment while it's cool out here. The sun's not glaring and cooking me, and I got sweat rolling off and everything, to kind of do a little walk around out here as I think of things that I'm going to do, and throw this in a video, and then hopefully in the next video we'll start doing something other to it. I don't know what yet. I don't know what parts are going to come in, what order, but we'll be doing something other and getting it closer to the completed build, I suppose. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.